had a really nice trip. It was a productive trip, very adventuresome trip. I met some really great people on this trip. And yet, there I was, sitting in my Uber, driving from LAX back home, and I just couldn't feel good about my trip. My dad even said, "Are you okay, honey? You don't sound like your positive, energetic self." And I was like, I don't know. I'm not sure what's going on. But did I think, oh, I am not feeling positive. Maybe this is food I need? No, because it really doesn't make sense intuitively. Hunger displays itself in multiple ways. Oh yeah, it happens. This happens to me. It happens to many other people. So many people don't know it happens to them because they aren't aware of the fact that it is a thing. But it's so cool when you start eating for optimal performance and you start to listen to your body. You know how to fix it when you're not at that high performance level. This is Lucy Gable, integrative leadership coach and trainer, author, speaker, and professor at the George Washington University School of Medicine grad program. And this is my podcast, Leadership, Life, Health, and Happiness. I'm walking because I've had a very busy day and quite a busy 7 days. My husband and I moved to another apartment within our general Los Angeles region, but moving is a big deal. We basically completed that task between Thursday and Sunday of last week, and then I headed out on a trip, took a flight, got to my destination, spent a few days, and came back. And a common issue with travel that I experienced this last time around, I want to share with you because holidays are coming, and that means travel for a lot of people. And when we're traveling, we often don't have a chance to take as good care of ourselves as we would like to. And I want to let you know that we all have trouble with it. Even me, even someone who wrote a book about how to eat when you're busy, how to eat healthily when you travel, when you're in another country. So we all have these challenges every now and then, and no doubt as the holidays come, we will all be having more of these challenges, right? So what happened? I'm going to start at the end. I had a really nice trip. It was a productive trip, very adventuresome trip. I met some really great people on this trip. And yet, there I was, sitting in my Uber, driving from LAX back home, and I just couldn't feel good about my trip. I just couldn't feel good about it. I was definitely feeling extremely tired. I hadn't eaten in quite some time. I was pretty sure that I was dehydrated, even though I had a couple of cups of water on the flight. And I called my dad to let him know how the trip was. And I just couldn't be positive about it. My dad even said, "Are you okay, honey? You don't sound like your positive, energetic self." And I was like, I don't know. I'm not sure what's going on. I'll have to let you know. And then I hung up and I kind of tried to doze off. I was pretty tired from the whole week, having moved 4 days of moving with my husband, and then boom, the next morning on a flight. And then boom, 2 full days of being alert and on it. And then boom, back on a flight. So of course, I was tired. I also went into a different time zone, had to wake up a couple hours earlier. So all that stuff is, challenges your body. So I get home and I get into the new apartment. There are boxes everywhere. And I love our new place. But I just couldn't feel it. I was like, meh, boxes. Meh. And I thought, but you know all the good things you like about this place. Nope. Couldn't feel it. Couldn't feel the love. Couldn't feel the joy. So I thought to myself, what should I do? I don't really want to unpack. I'm too tired to do anything productive. It's been a long day. After all, I woke up pretty early, had breakfast, went straight to the airport. And you know how it goes with airports and flights and travel to and from each airport, etc. Then I realized it had been 11 hours since I ate. 11 hours. But I wasn't hungry. You would think that if I were hungry, I would feel hungry, right? But that's not what happens all the time. And as I tell many of my clients and even write about in the book, hunger displays itself in multiple ways. Not just that hunger feeling that there's so many other ways lack of nourishment expresses itself. Some of the things that I have said before are when you're hungry, it can come across as feeling sad or angry or moody. You can feel unnecessarily scared. You can feel like your confidence is gone. You can feel less certain of yourself. You can feel less outgoing, less patient with people, less kind, less creative. You can feel like you're not remembering things well. There are so many ways that hunger displays itself. Of course, I know that, but did I think, I am not feeling positive. Maybe this is food I need? No, because it really doesn't make sense intuitively. But I did know that it had been 11 hours since I ate. I was on a plane ride, but it was a weird hour of the day, so they didn't serve any meals. Not saying that plain meals are healthy, but a lot of times you can get something that's better than the snacks, right? So all they offered on the flight were snacks, which tend to be chips and sweet things like cookies and other things that are pretty much worthless calories. And because I was traveling so much and moving, I haven't been having my regular workouts. I didn't feel like I wanted to splurge on worthless calories on the plane. They did have nuts, so I grabbed a bag of those. And I did have a little bit of water, but I could tell that it wasn't enough, that I was probably dehydrated. So one of the first things I did when I got in the house was drink a lot of water, because as we know, we can be thirsty, not hungry, but water does the same thing as food many times. If you don't feel like you need to eat, but you're still feeling some of these effects of needing food, it could be just that you haven't had enough water. Hydration is huge for the brain. So important for the brain, because your brain is made up largely of water, and you need those conductive circuits to be running smoothly, right? And it just wasn't dinner time, it was like 4:00 in the afternoon, and I thought I should wait a little bit to have dinner. Well, I had carrots and hummus, which is always a good snack, and it's one of the tricks I recommend in the book and to clients is that you have your vegetables first when you're super hungry, because it gives your gut microbiome what it needs. It also fills you up with fiber and water and antioxidants and phytochemicals. I kind of like to explain it like, give your gut a healthy coating of what you really need. Put that in there first. And then you won't want other things that aren't so healthy. But even if you did eat some things that weren't so healthy, it would have a lesser effect. So I ate the carrots and hummus. And that was pretty much what I had in the fridge in terms of vegetables. And then I thought, I don't have any energy to go to the grocery store. What else do I have here? Well, I had some fresh pasta, which I made. And my favorite way of eating pasta right now is just fresh with some really good olive oil and some truffle salt. And the best way to eat pasta, as you have heard me say, no doubt, is not by the plateful. Pasta should be eaten in the amount of about the size of your closed fist. That's how much pasta we should eat during a meal. That's a serving. So put some of that in a small bowl, plus the olive oil. So we've got some carbs, we've got some healthy fat. We already had some fiber. We already had some vegetables with phytochemicals. So that was the second piece of my meal. And then I thought, you know what? Where's the protein? What am I going to do for protein? What's in the fridge? At least in my fridge, always the protein that remains are eggs. So I thought, that's protein. I made that next. I medium boiled 3 eggs, and that was the last course. Boom. And what do I always say about eating a meal with all of the right components? Well, you don't feel hungry and you don't feel like you were missing something. And sure enough, I had all the components. I didn't feel like I was missing anything from my meal, even though it was a weird combination, but I ate it in segments. So it didn't taste weird like that, you know? I was all by myself. I wasn't entertaining anyone. Heck, my husband wasn't even home. So, you know, I was doing the bachelorette thing. I also teach people how to listen to their body and understand when their food is giving them fuel and nourishment, and when the food they ate is not giving them what they need. Certainly I've practiced that a lot, and pretty much after eating, I was watching some TV, and within about 10 minutes, I started feeling more like myself. I started feeling more positive. I started seeing all the positive things that happened on my trip. I started liking my place again. Oh yeah, it happens. This happens to me, it happens to many other people. I wonder if it happens to you. So many people don't know it happens to them because they aren't aware of the fact that it is a thing. So by that time, it was probably about 7 o'clock. I've spoken many times about how I am a late night person by nature, but I had jet lag and I was exhausted. My day was over. The next morning, when I got up, I was still a bit dehydrated, drank a few glasses of water, made sure I had my breakfast, and went out for my walk. And boy, was I coming up with creative ideas, new energy, plans for the next 3 months, for the next couple years, and a renewed excitement for life. So that's my story. I wonder if you can relate to this at all. When I talk to new clients or people who haven't heard me speak before or people who haven't been exposed to me, I find that they don't really see the connection and never actually looked for it. But it's so cool when you start to listen to your body and then you get to react to it in ways that help you to keep your optimal performance. Now, of course, there could be times, like for me, where I didn't have food. I didn't keep my optimal performance, but I certainly did have the knowledge on how to correct it once I found I was in that space. And of course, you'll have times like I did where things happen and you don't get to eat optimally. You don't get to keep your rhythm, but you can fix it as soon as you recognize it, or as soon as possible. And that's the great part. Understanding how the body works with food, with exercise, movement, sleep, and other things so that you can keep your performance at high levels as much as possible. And you know how to fix it when you're not at that high performance level. So, speaking of taking care of ourselves and optimal performance and travel, we're coming into the holiday season, and I know that you might be traveling, just as I'm probably going to be traveling. And when we travel, there are a lot of interesting and different hurdles to jump over when it comes time to keeping those practices of optimal performance. You don't need to give up all of your favorite foods over the holidays. You don't need to give up your family functions or your fun. You can just do it better and start practicing it now so that you're not waiting until January 1st to do the right thing for yourself. Put yourself first this time. Put yourself first so you can be good to others. And I want to help you with that. So, I'm opening up the doors again for Eating for Optimal Performance, practicing your healthy habits now before the holidays come with a number of other people who provide support. That'd be me and your peers in the group program. And we get some healthy habits down so that we already have what we need going into the holidays. So, are you interested in joining a group and myself coming up in the near future at the end of October, where we're going to get together and improve our healthy habits, first of all, improve them, really get them to be nice and strong around food, around movement if you like, around sleeping, and then we're going to support each other in those healthy habits as we move into the holidays. Now, because this is going to start in October, it'll end right around mid-December. So you will have some strong practices already in play, and you will also have some strong, positive support from peers and myself as you get started in the holidays. So if you're interested, let's do this holiday kickoff together. Let me know. Send me an email, lucy@lucygable.com. Tell me that you're interested. I'll give you some more information about it. I'd love to have you as part of my group. And of course, you can head over to eat2lead.com if you just want to pick up the book and start working on eating healthily on your own. Whatever you can do, start now. Don't wait until January. So let me know. Thanks for listening. This is Lucy Gable. I'll talk to you next time.